Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can! Come on!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my good brother from the Bulletcast. It's Phillip. How you doing, man?
I am here, the microphone messiah podcast. So I have another one. Another one. Another name. Another moniker. I mean,
another one.
With the ones in the air. Wow. I have a whole, crew of the ones. That's neither here nor there. But, I'm thinking, Roman's the needle mover. I'm the industry leader. Yes, sir. Man. Yes, sir.
Do you just sit there like take notes on your phone?
No, man. It comes to me.
I kind of gave him that one.
It comes to me.
I kind of gave him that one.
My God.
If Tronic gets out of line, kick him off of this one.
Oh, my God. Well, and the voice you do hear, yes, also joining us, my other good brother from within the ropes is Bryan Tronic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy that I won't get muted or kicked off this podcast.
I mean, honestly, he should just be from the Bulletcast because Within the Ropes is dead.
Okay.
What? It died.
It's making its triumphant return.
I hear some guy named Graham bought the rights.
Okay.
Oh my God.
What? I mean, but Huey, you don't like my name? You don't like the nicknames?
You got too many to keep track of, man.
I think Podcasso's the best one, though.
Have you ever said all of them in one episode?
I like all of them from like the entirety of podcasting.
Yeah,
I have not. No,
we should make that's Bryan. That's what we should do for Phillip for Christmas. We should get him a shirt listing off all the names and his face like smiling, like yay,
like a think bubble. No, but I honestly I think Podcasso's the best one. Podcasting is an art form, and I'm an artiste. I am. I mean, sometimes I like to paint with oils or acrylic. Sometimes I like to use colored pencils, Sometimes I like to use clay, or Play-Doh.
I like it.
I'm an artist.
Absolutely. I like the Play-Doh.
Well, clip that right there. That's it. The end of the show. We can go home.
Man. I mean, do you have any artwork to show off? I
mean, I've won awards because of my artistic podcasting.
Awards you created.
No, I won 2 awards last year, remember? I won those 2 for Breezy's for being the freshest podcaster in the game.
Did you win a Slammy?
I won for Breezy's. Those are more important.
No, Bryan, it's like how he crowns himself champion.
I didn't crown myself.
No proof.
Guys.
No proof. And I clearly am the undisputed champion.
I have the Febrezzi's.
Febrezzi's?
Yeah, you were there. You were there last year.
Yeah, so it was your own award show.
Okay, but look, they mailed them to me.
What, you went in the other room and just handed it to yourself?
No, that's not how that worked, guys.
Man,
I didn't make myself champion either. I won.
My God,
you guys just don't listen to the show where the results were.
I won.
Man. Well, I was going to say, apologies to all the Kliqsters out there for the lack of episode in the last couple of weeks. It's been a hectic time for me. For anyone who knows me with my regular job, the time from like Thanksgiving to the week before Christmas it's extremely busy for me. So much going on at work, just getting ready for my vacation and other stuff at work. So just didn't have time to watch wrestling on my normal regular schedule, on top of just finding time to record and edit, all that stuff. So I apologize, but here I am back on vacation. Now I have some time to start catching up. I caught up on my Dynamite from the last few weeks tonight. And so now it's like, okay, I think I'm able to record a podcast. And we haven't talked much AEW recently. So I was like, I got to get back on track with everything. So thank you guys for making the time to sit down and record with me again. So, so much to get into, specifically, which we'll sum up some of the highlights from AEW from the last few weeks and what happened on this week's episode of Dynamite. But I do want to touch on some WWE related news that it happened the last couple of weeks or a week or so. I'm like, I've been meaning to, I wanted to talk about it, just haven't had time. First things first, some shocking news within the last, less than 2 weeks now? I know it kind of seems a little bit like old news, but WWE released Jeff Hardy. This is coming off a couple weeks ago. They had a house show, and Jeff came to the ring, kind of like look a little out of it, stumbling. And then during the match, he had made a hot tag to Drew McIntyre. He was teaming with him and Xavier Woods against the Bloodline, and he rolled out of the ring, went into the crowd, started taking photos with everyone, and just seemed out of it. And then he was released a couple days later, and then word came out that apparently he rejected the idea of going to rehab, and so WWE had no choice just to release him. So yeah, unfortunate news coming there. I know Jeff Hardy was, a big fan favorite. If you look at Survivor Series, you can see how over he was with the crowd still to this day. Phil, I'll start with you, man. Your thoughts on Jeff Hardy being released?
It hurt. It did, man. That was one of those, because I'm a Jeff Hardy guy.
Yeah,
I'm a Jeff Hardy guy. I've said it time and time again. It was weird, I thought the behavior was odd, but it wasn't Victory Road 2011 with Sting. It wasn't nothing crazy like that. So, I guess that's why he felt he didn't need rehab. Matt Hardy's talked about it on his Twitch, how Jeff's doing fine and all this other stuff. And, videos of circulated. He's touring now, singing his own work in his WWE theme song. Now he looked fine. He looks like he's in great spirits and in great shape. So we don't know what happened. Whenever Jeff is ready to talk about it, he will talk about it. But it's a missed opportunity, man. Because you were at that Raw and SF, man. Like for the amount of people that were in there, everybody popped for Hardy.
Yeah,
still such a great reaction. And I think the plans were for him to do something with Roman and stuff like that. But it's not to be.
Yeah, we could speculate, or people are trying to speculate, like what he was doing or what he was on, whatever it is. Hopefully, like I said, maybe one day he'll kind of clear the air and explain what happened. But yeah, just coming off of a week prior to that, he was on the latest episode of the Broken Skull Sessions with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And, he talked about, I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I saw some highlights where it was like, it's getting off drugs or pills is easy, but staying away from alcohol, that's tougher because that's always around on the road and whatnot. And then he said, like, he wanted one more run as a champion in WWE, and he had his eye on the Universal title. And I mentioned before on an episode, I think Jeff Hardy would have been a great opponent for Roman Reigns if it's just like a one pay-per-view program, kind of similar to Cesaro earlier this year, where it's just, filling time in between Roman's bigger maybe opponents for WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, whatever. Give him like a one-off pay-per-view against Jeff Hardy just to, fill time, a little filler match feud there. So I really thought, he'd be great. He's a credible champion. Obviously, he's decorated all his accomplishments in WWE, and he's a former WWE champion himself. So it's, he would be, I think, a really good opponent, and he's so over as a baby face. The crowd loves him. So I thought, that would make sense, especially when he got traded to or drafted to SmackDown. So it's just unfortunate. It's not going to happen now, it looks like. And Brian, how about you? Your thoughts on this whole situation?
Yeah, it's sad. Watching the Broken Skull interview with Jeff and seeing his body language and hearing him talk about and him saying, like, this is my last shot. This is the last opportunity that I have. And then hearing the news of what happened at the live event, and then following that was the release. It's just sad because you knew. I think everyone wanted the Roman Reigns match. It seems like it was a big possibility. Something that he wanted. He spoke on it several times prior to him being released. So it's really sad when you think about how this is possibly the last time we'll see him as an active wrestler in WWE. Yeah. And I mean, it kind of just got cut short.
Well, here's something. I want to throw this out there. I heard this on Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg. So obviously we know the Hardys are going in the WWE Hall of Fame. That's inevitable. Mm-hmm. Is there a chance that we see the Hardys like truly end their in-ring careers in WWE? Because, I mean, look, they've had the TNA run. Like, they were there for a long-ass time. The Ring of Honor run. Matt's over in AEW. We have yet to know where Jeff is going to be. They've done all these other things, but they're still WWE guys.
Yeah. I don't know, unless they do something kind of like what Kurt Angle, right? Well, Kurt Angle, he was the GM, right, of Raw, and he just had the one final match against Baron Corbin. So I don't know if there's a way they can bring him in maybe for one final match. I just don't see them maybe ending their in-ring career in WWE. I just feel like Matt, he's so feels creatively satisfied away from WWE right now in AEW and doing stuff on his own, more independent. Jeff, nowadays it's the free time. He's touring with his band, and
I mean, what creative freedom does Matt really have? Obviously, he's not doing the woken broken stuff anymore. He's just kind of hobbling around with
HFO,
HFO, and whatever the tag team. What's the tag team's name again? Private Party. They haven't been doing nothing. I forgot their name.
I know.
Which is a whole other thing. Yeah,
that's a whole other thing. Like HFO, Team Taz, there's these factions who I feel like haven't been doing too much.
I think they'll be back because Kurt, he was away from. He had a longer career in TNA than he did WWE, but he came back home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Batista went and did all the movies, all the MMA stuff, but he came home.
Maybe come back for one quick run, kind of like what the Dudley Boys did. Remember a few years ago? They came back
even they came home
for one. It was 1 year, right? When they returned.
Yeah,
it was a 1 year thing. I remember they ended with. Who they ended with? I
don't remember.
You can't teach that.
Enzo and Cass. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, sure, anything's possible in wrestling, but I just don't know how long Matt's contract is with AEW. And then after that, at that point, his body, does he still want to take any more bumps? I think a lot of people thought he was going to retire this last run with WWE, and he kept talking about the number of bumps on his bump card.
Well, he seems to be getting around better now than in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, anything's possible. Money talks. If they're willing to come in and do one final run, maybe win the titles one more time. Because that's what happened, right? Didn't Jeff get hurt and they dropped the SmackDown titles, and then Matt eventually got released and whatnot, or left, and then I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. Like I said, money talks, but do they want to go back again? It depends how much time has gone, especially for Jeff Hardy's situation. So I don't know. I mean, yeah,
and you got to think in what capacity do they come back to? I'm pretty sure neither one of them are going to want to go on the road and do stuff like that. And part timers. I mean, I don't even know if they
can only do TVs
like that. Yeah, but I don't even know if they'd be interested in going back there because they've had
Jeff just said he enjoyed being back on the road.
I know Jeff did, but as far as Matt, I think Matt is completely done with being in WWE, not being active, not being part of the creative, let alone not having his ideas be heard. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to not have your ideas be heard, but then on top of that, not be in the creative plans at all.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'd want to go back.
That's the thing. Yeah, you brought up a good point. I wonder if Matt would want to go back. Be like, wait, why resign if I'm just going to end up sitting in the back again like I did, after him and Bray Wyatt, their tag team run ended. Yep. So he's like, at least with AEW, it's a lighter schedule. I'm on TV a little bit more often with HFO related matches. So for him, he'd be like, unless, I'm sure if hypothetically they did sign, I'm sure they can have demands, be like, okay, we'll sign one year, one final run, but like, let's outline a full year of program for us. So we're not wasting our time here. But then again, people get promised stuff and then things change. So who knows if they want to go through that whole process again of like false hopes and promises.
Right. I almost wish that, Christian could have signed something with WWE.
Yeah.
And then, because Edge is there, Jeff is there. They could have somehow got Matt. One of the Dudleys works there.
Yeah. Devon. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know everybody's much older, but if you're thinking about selling out of like a WrestleMania or something, that's something you do.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know if they want to go through that whole process again of like being maybe come back and have like a good like 2 months and then go through like one program with a feud with someone, put someone else over.
Yeah,
and then
one program, retire as tag champs, kind of like Trish, you retired as the women's champion, do something like that, and then boom, you go in the Hall of Fame.
No, like I said, I mean, I want what's best for them and what, I think it'd be awesome if they had one last run. But then again, it's like, Jeff, I'm sure wanted maybe to accomplish more as a singles competitor this last go round. I mean, what else can they do as a tag team that they haven't done before? I mean, they're arguably the greatest tag team in WWE's history. I mean, that's a great debate too. But so I don't know, maybe for them, they're like, we don't need one more run. They could easily be like, you know what? Let's just do things on our own terms. And, I mean, that's the thing, Jeff Hardy. I wonder what will he do next. Would he go to AEW? Would he go to Impact? Because he does have history there with TNA. I'm kind of curious, what would he want to do next if he still wants to wrestle?
It's most likely going to be AEW. I mean, let's just face it.
Yeah. I mean,
Jeff said several times on the Broken Skull that Matt's kind of like the decision maker. He's like in charge of everything. He said he never really pitched anything. That was always Matt. So I'm pretty sure if Matt, puts the play together and it's like, all right, we're going to come back. The Hardy Boys are going to reunite. We're going to have, like you said, Huey, we're going to got all these opponents lined up for the next year. I think Jeff would go and fans would be happy. And
okay, but if Jeff goes over there, then what just happens to HFO?
They could put over Private Party finally. That Private Party, I love them when they debuted in AEW. They're a team that in the last year has fallen so off to the sideline. Like, no offense to their alliance with Matt, but that whole team hasn't done anything for them. Like, so many other tag teams have jumped ahead of them as far as significance and popularity within AEW.
The Acclaimed?
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like when Private Party started, I was like, oh my God, these guys are the future. Yep. Like, Young Bucks are going to do their thing. SCU, all these other tag teams that were a little bit older veterans, they're going to, lay the foundation of what tag team wrestling is in AEW. Then Private Party will be the future tag team that they'll put over. Now where they're at, there are other teams that are, I think, getting more screen time. You look at the Acclaim. I don't know what's Top Flight. What's their situation? Dante Martin's been doing a lot of single stuff.
His brother's hurt,
so I imagine when his brother comes back, maybe they'll do something.
What happened to TH2, the Highlighter 2? What happened to those guys?
I think Jack Evans is in Mexico right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
And Helico is with Hardy Family Office.
Any moving on anyway.
Yeah, so that's my thing. It's like there's so many other tag teams who jumped ahead of Private Party. I think Private Party took a really big step back, doing the Matt Hardy stuff. Like, it just, like, at first seemed interesting, like Matt Hardy being the evil manager, taking all their money, and then it just kind of ran its course, and they never did anything with that. And so I feel bad for Private Party. Like, what? They should be a tag team champions by now, or at least in the mix. I mean, you got like Varsity Blondes getting TV time again on Dynamite and stuff. So Anyway, that's a whole nother thing we could get into at some point. So for Jeff Hardy, I will say this. I hope he does get some sort of help if he needs it. Just, his health is number one. So I hope whatever he's going through right now, it's something that they can take care of. It's an issue he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his life. So I hope he just takes care of himself and gets better. So we shall see what he does next, in 2022.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
With that being said, like with what happened with Jeff and everything, does it make what the storyline he had with Sheamus? Does it? Would you look back on that and go, "Wow, maybe WWE shouldn't have done something like that"?
I thought about that, because that was last summer, right?
Yeah,
the pandemic. Yeah. So summer 2020. I was kind of on the fence because. Wait, did they do that? Did they do two separate alcohol storylines with him?
No, it was all one big story.
Or Samoa Joe.
Oh, no, they've done this. So, Punk, back in 2009.
Yeah.
Then the Samoa Joe angle.
Joe took a couple shots at him.
Hey, man, he said, shut up.
Jeff Hardy, right? Yeah, it was Jeff Hardy. Yeah. Okay,
And they had that big promo. And then that boy Joe told Jeff to shut up while he's sharing with the group. I was
that's right.
Damn.
That was pre-COVID. That's what I was thinking of. But in the COVID era, Sheamus, because they had the actual match in the bar.
Yeah, they've touched on abuse, but WCW did that with Scott Hall.
Yeah, I kind of cringe a little bit because I'm like, oh, you're kind of acknowledging something personal that someone's dealing with, and I don't know if that's the best way to handle it because you're just kind of beating it in their face. Like, you have an issue and everyone knows about it now.
Well, and at first I had initially thought what if it was Jeff's idea? What if this is how he wants to deal with it? What if he wants to bring this? But then he kind of confirmed on Broken Skull that he never really pitches anything. He just kind of sits back and goes with the flow. So I was like, oh, well.
Yeah,
that kills that one.
Yeah, so I kind of cringe when they bring those type of real life situations where it's involving someone's health like that, and they put it on blast like that into a storyline, because I'm like, is that really the best way for them to deal with that? Is let them deal with that privately with a specialist or someone that can help them, not kind of make fun of it on TV. I don't know. I kind of. Like I said, it's a little tough for me to watch, and I was kind of wondering about that feud with Sheamus last year. I was like,
but it's a shoot, brother.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. So I guess it depends on the person if they're cool with it. But then again, are they really going to say no if they're worried about their job? I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah,
very true.
So we'll see, what's next with Jeff Hardy. Also, big news within the last couple weeks, obviously, Johnny Gargano, what's next for him. Competed at War Games with NXT a couple weeks ago. The following episode of NXT 2.0 cuts a great promo, babyface promo, more or less a goodbye to his time in NXT, and ended with, if you bet on yourself... Wait, I don't want to screw up the quote. If you bet on yourself, you will never fail. I think, is that the right quote there? I hope it is.
I think so.
Let me see. Actually, let me Google that real quick.
He said it a few times.
Yeah,
he's like, no, Johnny, please, no.
And then while he did that, Grayson Waller comes out and attacks him and takes him out, puts him through a table. Ultimate heel.
I love Grayson Waller. I love that guy.
Fantastic.
So, I give Johnny credit, man. Last night, he went out, helped putting over the next talent there. So, Brian, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on Johnny's farewell promo, and what could be next for him?
It was a good situation. This is his first War Games he competed in, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So that was great. I'm glad he got to go out.
Actually, I got the quote here. You will never fail if you bet on yourself. So
there it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
it's part of his ad for Pro Wrestling Tees store.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. It was emotional. Everybody was kind of, we all knew, his contract was coming up and everything, but you know, when it happens and when he's in the ring and he's having a speech and he's emotional and you think about where his life is, or what his life is about to be with his kid going to be born here in a few months and Candace and all that. It's just like, dang, it makes you think like, did we really appreciate Johnny Gargano in NXT as much as we should have? I know I kind of overlooked it. And then now that it's like his farewell, he's like gone. It's kind of like, I'm going to miss that guy. I was hoping, man, hopefully he's just gone for a little bit and then he comes back, shows up on SmackDown or Raw or something. I don't know. Maybe if somehow, some way, whenever Tommaso Ciampa loses the championship, he'll head over to the main roster and then Gargano will come back and then we'll get Gargano and Ciampa reuniting again. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like, I think no matter what, his time in NXT is done. His contract's expired now. Ever since his contract's been expired, he has done everything that an independent wrestler does.
Yeah.
Creates a pro wrestling tees store, so he's got merch there now, not on WWE Shop. He's got a Twitch account now. He's streaming. I think he has like a YouTube page. Like, he's doing everything that he couldn't do before under WWE's umbrella. He's now putting it out there. Good for him. I think, if anything, I know Candace is about to have the baby, February? I think, for him, dude, just rest up. I'm sure his body's banged up for everything he's done the last few years in NXT. It's like, rest up, heal up, enjoy this downtime, enjoy, becoming a dad and watching, Candace give birth and be there for that experience and, stay at home, take paternity time off if he can. All that stuff. Just enjoy this. Take time to, feel out offers from other people. Like, I'm glad he didn't re-sign. Let him, as a free agent, just see what some of the best offers out there from other promotions, whether AEW, Impact, whoever it may be. See what's out there for him. And I'm glad he created a pro wrestling tees store and stuff. So hopefully he can make a little bit of money while away from the ring right now. So hopefully people buy merch and stuff. So I don't know, Phillip, what do you think, man? What do you think's next for Johnny Gargano?
He better not go over there. He better not go to the other channel.
TBS.
It's happening. When's that happening?
January 5th. They
should have done it on the 4th. The 4th is so much better.
Wrestle Kingdom. Is that Wrestle Kingdom time?
It's the day I was born. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, because you were, born at the end of the Attitude Era.
But I remember it. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I remember it.
Phillip remembers 3 count.
I do. I have the CD. Yes. Shannon Moore is great. No, but seriously, Johnny Gargano, he needs take some time off, but he needs to go to the main roster. It's time. I understand there's a thing to do with Grayson Waller or whatever. Now, the Royal Rumble's way too soon, but let's say while there's a surprise entrance in the Rumble, Johnny Gargano eliminates yada 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 whatever. But he can't go back to NXT. That is done. That is done. Plus, Grayson Waller is going to be doing something with AJ Styles, it looks like, but that's cool. Mm-hmm. They need an underdog. Daniel Bryan is gone. He can be that underdog. He could be the underdog. He could, because I don't know. Let him get a little bit more size while he's off. He could fill the role. Could you imagine a super underdog Johnny Gargano going up against the tribal chief? I'm not saying he beats Roman, but he comes close to where people are like, all right, this guy has something, No,
I'm glad you said that. Jimbo and I had this conversation last week, whatever it was, a week and a half ago, whatever, a couple weeks ago. But we're talking about Johnny Gargano is I really do think he should just take time off, take a couple months off. Like I just said, we'll be there for the birth of his child and all that stuff. But hypothetically, Weapon if he does, make an appearance at the Royal Rumble, and that could launch him going to the main roster or something like that. It's interesting, Brian, because you think about this quote, "You will never fail if you bet on yourself." That quote can be interpreted so many different ways when it comes to Johnny Gargano and what's next for his career. As far as betting on yourself, believing in yourself, what you want to do next. He might bet on himself thinking, you know what? I think I can succeed on Raw or SmackDown, so maybe I will re-sign with WWE and prove the doubters wrong. Or maybe he believes, you know what? I can go elsewhere and be successful. So maybe that's his mindset. It's like, you know, I can go to AEW and be successful. I can go to Impact, be successful.
I mean, speaking of AEW, I mean, 3 guys bet on themselves, and now they have the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
You know.
So that's something that quote really does apply to him and how he's going to believe in himself, bet on himself, and he's going to go somewhere and be successful. Now, Phillip, you brought a good point on something Jimbo and I were talking about. Is like, okay, Daniel Bryan, a.k.a. Bryan Danielson, is gone for WWE. WWE doesn't have like a smaller underdog wrestler, a guy that the fans can get behind. Maybe Johnny can fill that void and be the next Daniel Bryan for WWE on Raw or SmackDown. I think that'd be kind of cool if he was to go down that route. I think that would be awesome. Now, granted, will upper management and the people in charge think about that for him? I would hope so. I would love to see Johnny. I'd be so awesome. Yeah, Phillip, like he could put on a banger match. Like, you know, the match he had at TakeOver against Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era when he won the championship. He can have a similar match against Roman Reigns. How awesome would that be? Like on a big stage. It
would be great, man. You know, I think the WWE universe needs the rebel heart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that song is so good. It's like, if he goes somewhere else, he can't use that song. Yeah. So that song will be dead. But shout out Grayson Waller. You see what he did on trolling. He woke up out of bed. Yeah. He's like, I feel good. He starts playing Rebel Heart. He says, it's like, good thing this song's on Spotify because that's the only place you're going to hear it now. So, that's great. Yeah, it was great. So now what's next with Johnny? I mean, like I said, I hope wherever he decides he's happy with. And I mean, yeah, he could go to AEW, but then again, they have so much talent there. He would just kind of, I think, get lost in the shuffle. And there's plenty of guys who've signed there recently who kind of fall into the sideline already. Look at Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
Like, Jay Lethal was the big free agent signing.
Well, you know why he fell to the wayside.
Oh, believe me. Yes, I know.
Hey, Alfred, call him up. Hit him up.
I've really been thinking about calling up Alfred and be like, dude, like, we got to talk. This is.
Hey, Kyle O'Reilly, spoiler alert, he'll be on next week. Definitely.
Yeah.
He won't have a one-off.
He already got a match.
Exactly.
I can't believe Jay Lethal. So wait, Jay Lethal had the one match with Sammy Guevara. It was in the Diamond Battle Royal, and that's it, right?
He was in the Diamond. I didn't even know that.
He got eliminated quickly.
Bro, I'm telling you, y'all thought this was really a game? Bruh, it's not all elite white people for no reason. I said it. I'm sorry. I said it.
There's a lot of people making that commentary that out there. So I don't know. It's interesting, man. With that being said, though, with Johnny, I would like to see him do something in WWE still. Like, I would love to see him go up to the main roster and kill it up there as a underdog baby face for them. I hope so. So we'll see what happens. One last thing we'll touch on real quick before we talk about all the AEW. Kevin Owens re-signed with the company. I think everyone thought he was going to leave, go to AEW, reform Mount Rushmore with the Elite and Adam Cole, with the Young Bucks, I should say. No, it didn't happen. Re-sign. It looks like a 3-year deal, and it's rumored $2 to $3 million a year. So
good.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
No Kevin Steen for y'all. No. Yeah. Hey, look, when he tweeted out those coordinates, I got a little scared. I did.
Me too, man.
I did. But But I heard this on Cheap Heat also. Is it we can't let this guy go because he's such a great talent, or is it we don't want them to have him?
I would hope it's like we can't lose this guy because he's won every title except for tag titles, right?
And the WWE title.
WWE title, yeah, he's Universal Champion.
But they're like the only things I could see him doing are he and Sammy get back together and having like an actual tag run, which whatever. Or he becomes the WWE champion and he's a monster heel. We're talking like kill Steen kill when he was like trying to kill Jim Cornette in Ring of Honor. We're talking about like that kind of Kevin Steen Owens. You know, the prize fighter, the guy that did all these dastardly things for his family.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get that guy back, then it's interesting. Because they've done everything that they can with him. He's basically the new Big Show. He'll face turns all the time.
I know it's because he's a heel now. Like listen, I haven't watched like Raw all the way through for a couple weeks, and I watched Raw this week, and I was like, oh, I guess he is full heel now with Seth Rollins. They're like buddies now. So I was like, kind of out of nowhere. Brian, how about you? Your thoughts on Kevin Owens getting that money and staying with WWE?
I thought Kevin Owens' announcement was very NBA like. It just dropped out of nowhere on like, you know, I forget what day it was. But it was just random. It was like Kevin Owens re-signed, like his contract wasn't even up yet. Like, Kevin Owens re-signed, multi-year deal. I think I'm glad he did. And it made sense. I seen reports saying that a lot of people, even within AEW, knew like, the most important thing to Kevin Owens is family, and anyone who knows Kevin Owens, like he's going to do what's best for his family. Mm-hmm. So I guess it kind of should have been a no-brainer for people.
I was kind of thinking like, family is important to him and number one. So I kind of thought maybe AEW couldn't offer as much money to WWE, but he would like that lighter schedule because AEW technically only works 1 day a week, and then on Wednesdays, because they do Dynamite and film Rampage. Occasionally, they might do a live Rampage somewhere into a pay-per-view, and then if they have a pay-per-view weekend, and then they do film some dark shows down at Universal Studios in Orlando.
So realistically, like Dynamite's on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
You fly out Tuesday, you fly home
Wednesday night
on a red eye Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So you're gone for like a day and a half or two?
Yeah.
Compared to like 4 or 5.
So that's why I thought he was like, okay, maybe what you can't make money wise, like AEW probably couldn't offer as much at WWE, but making up, having that extra free time with your family, that's priceless. So that's why I kind of thought he was leaning towards AEW for the lighter schedule. He's a big Owen Hart fan, so maybe I thought he was going to maybe try to make an appearance in the Owen Hart tournament in AEW, be with all his buddies from Ring of Honor, PWG, so Mount Rushmore can reform. But then again, maybe he just thought, like, look, AEW, it's really stacked over there right now. I don't know if I can go over there. He might have like a big impact to begin with, but then after a couple months, he falls to the sideline. Look at how many other guys have a big surprise debut, and then within a month or two, or forgot about. So
Jay Lethal.
So that's
2 weeks.
So that's
and everyone's already anticipating the return of Kenny Omega, the return of John Moxley. Jericho's been gone for a while. I'm sure he'll be inserted in once he's done with his tour.
Yeah. So maybe Kevin's like, you know what? Like, as much as I want to be with my boys, my buddies over there, I gotta look at dollar amount. Like, I'm only in my prime once. That's something Stone Cold's always said. It's like, make your money in your prime years. So Kevin Owens is like, what, is he 37 now? So he's probably like, listen, this is the most amount of money I'm ever going to get offered. If he's making $2 to $3 million a year for 3 years. So he's making anywhere, 6 to 9 million total in that 3 years period. Make that money, save on that, and then who knows, maybe in his 40s he'll go to AEW when his career is a little bit more, he's trying to go lighter at that point. So I could see him like, he's like, make that money, save up for myself, my family, and then again, you look at like in WWE, like the roster is thinner now with all the releases. So if anything, he kind of he could stand out a little bit more in WWE compared to AEW in many ways. Does that make sense, Brian?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think Kevin Owens, he might have also made this decision to kind of let WWE know, like, I'm your guy. Like, everybody else because to be fair, like, I think WWE wanted Kevin Owens. I think they wanted all the other guys that didn't, that left and didn't resign also, but their contracts were up and they just said, I'm out of here. But Kevin Owens, I think he made the decision, and I kind of feel, I don't know, I just feel the just the way it happened, how quickly it happened, how he didn't wait till the very last minute. It's almost like he wanted to let them know, like, I'm here. I've always wanted to be a WWE superstar. I'm here. And I'm not going anywhere. And kind of pretty much to wave his flag, like, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going to be. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not jumping ship. You can trust me. You can rely on me. I think Vince McMahon needs some reassurance, just a little bit. I mean, to be fair, I know he doesn't have a great reputation with all the releases and stuff, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to have some soldiers on your side.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like Kevin Owens, he's probably like a lot of people are gone now, so there's probably more money that's being offered to him, and he's now in that upper tier, like main event money, because Roman and Brock are probably like make the most, and then below that is probably like what guys like or gals, Becky Lynch, Seth, I'm trying to think, maybe Big E, guys and gals who are like below that, and so Kevin's now kind of getting up there. So Drew McIntyre, so it's like guys like that, they're making some big bucks now. So like I said, I can't hate on Kevin Owens, going after the money. Like you said, he's only young once. Go ahead and make it in your prime years, and go out these next 3 years, go out. And I wonder if Sami Zayn's going to resign then, because his contract's also going to be up. So
it's true.
I think he did. Did we?
I know it was coming up soon around the same time, so I can see Sammy now re-signing, and he's getting a lot of TV time on SmackDown lately with the whole Brock Lesnar stuff. So
yeah,
so for him, he's probably like, what, these guys are like, what, we bust our ass in our 20s, Ring of Honor, PWG, Japan, wherever, busting our ass. And earning that credibility now in our 30s, let's make that money. Kind of like Shinsuke Nakamura. A lot of people say, Shinsuke had amazing matches in New Japan, but that was in his 20s. Now he's in his 30s or late 30s. He's like, this is my time to make my money. I just want to surf. I'll do whatever they want me to do on TV. I just want to make that money so I've, can retire good. So I can't hate them on that aspect of it. So, all right, let's move on over to AEW this week. We'll power through this. Since we haven't had a chance to talk AEW for a couple weeks, I just want to touch on some of the highlights from the last few weeks of Dynamite. Just get our quick thoughts on that. Just because, there's been so much that's been going on in AEW leading up to the end of the year here. I just figure we should acknowledge some of this stuff here. So a few weeks ago on Dynamite, the main event, we saw Cody Rhodes take on Andrade in a Georgia street fight, if I remember correctly. Brian, do you remember what it was exactly?
It's like
actually have it here.
Was it
Atlanta street fight? That's
Atlanta,
what it was.
Yeah.
Because it was in Atlanta, Georgia. The big thing obviously was the ending. Cody wins after Brandy Rhodes comes running out, lights a table on fire, and Cody suplexes Andrade through the table, the burning table, but Cody ends up taking more of the heat of the fire. It still pins Andrade and gets the win. I don't know. What'd you think about that whole main event there, that finish?
Well, I thought that Cody, it's bizarre. It's a little strange. I don't know why Cody needed to be in a spot like that, or, a slot like that. Table spots, flaming tables, Brandy coming in, and
Brandy coming in with the hoodie and the mask on, like, who are you hiding from? You don't need to hide from anyone. It was like kind of ridiculous. Like, she comes, it's not like you're sneaking in. Like, it's a street fight. You just come running in to help out. You don't need to cover yourself up.
It was a surprise for the pop. I mean,
it's Brandy Rhodes.
Who's at home watching the baby? I understand why Cody did the flaming table.
Wait a minute, the baby's backstage. Wait a minute.
I understand why Cody did the flaming table. As someone who works in the wrestling world, why are you looking at me like that, Baby Huey?
Nothing.
I mean, look, I almost went through a door at the last Douglas show for the love of the art form, for the pop of the crowd.
When I go, you have to go through a door when I go.
Hey, dude, I'm down. Like, I am down. I will go through a door. I don't care. I'll do it. Baby Huey has to be there too.
Can I put him through the door?
Yes.
Can we put Mike Miller through a table?
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I would help out with that.
Yeah.
I would totally help out with
And
that.
then-
I need some comeuppance.
Yeah.
And then have him come out at the next show and say, "I'm damn sick and tired of watching you walk around with that bullet cast champion."
Wheel him out with the neck brace on.
That's what they should. Jacob Fatu should have done that to him at the last West Coast show.
Man, that would have been great. But the flaming table, it happened. You know, like
It was funny because he was, when the match started, you see his whole back is covered with like a gel, and Taz joked and said, "Oh, someone must have been drinking some goo and just spilled it on him." It's like, come on, Taz, that's the best explanation you could give for
they should have just said it was icy hot, bro. Like,
it was just, and like Cody's covered with all this goo, this gel. You're like, okay, something's about to happen.
I didn't see any of that.
And I felt bad because it's like it kept smearing off during the match. I'm like, oh man, he's losing his protection.
How come anytime he puts somebody through a table, he goes through the table?
It was just like
I'm serious. Like, look back. He always goes through the table, not the opponent.
It was cringe because like he goes through the fire and it's like his body, he's like trying to roll around. So he's trying to roll around, put out the fire and then make the pin. So it was just like, it was a big cluster mess right there. And you see his body, like parts of the table, like burnt into his skin at that moment. The top layer of the table. So I was just like, oh no. I was like wondering what's the point of this? Like, why the fire? It's like, Brandy, I wonder she put too much gasoline on the table. Like, I was like, you didn't need that much fire. Yeah, you don't need that much on there. I'm just trying to figure out what is happening here with Cody Rhodes. Like, where is this going? Is Cody trying to, like, at the point he is putting his body through hell so that way he can, if he does turn heel, he can tell the audience, listen, I've done this, and this to my body, and you guys still boo me. Who's the real, a-holes or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
fans can stick it.
Yeah, like that's the thing. That's the only thing I could think of. He's doing all these different things to his body, so he's creating like a resume of harm to his body, so that when he does finally turn on the audience, the fans, he'd be like, screw you guys. Like, I did all this for your entertainment and you guys still boo me. Mm-hmm. Like, shame on you.
If that's true, that's excellent storytelling.
I guess, yeah. And then I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Was, a couple weeks ago in Dynamite, he comes out and challenges Sammy Guevara for a match for the TNT Championship. Cody comes out through, you guys notice he comes out through the babyface side, the good guy side.
Yep.
And he said to Sammy, you and I, we're both good guys. And he's like, looks at the crowd, like, acknowledging we're both good guys. And he wants a match for the TNT Championship. Tony Khan made it official for Christmas Day. And then when he was getting ready to leave, he started walking towards the heel entrance, the bad guy entrance, but stopped, turned around, and then went through the good guy entrance again.
You know,
a little detail.
You know what? That's the equivalent of that one episode of Raw. I remember Cena was the WWE champion, and he was like, "How you guys want a little heel turn?" And then he turned his heel. It's the equivalent of stuff like that.
So that's what I was like, oh, I see what Cody's like. He's acknowledging, like, oh, people want me to turn heel, so I'm gonna acknowledge it a little bit. So I know we're recording on a Thursday night, so this is before Rampage this Saturday on Christmas Day. So I kind of wonder what's going to happen. I mean, I'm sure it was probably filmed already. I haven't looked up any spoilers, anything like that. I don't know. I don't know what's next for Cody, man. I just want to know, where is this going long term? I don't know. I mean, that's something we can maybe save for another time, talk about when we get maybe more evidence of where he could potentially be going with his character and whatnot.
When Cody eventually turns heel, will it be equivalent to when his father joined the NWO?
When he joined at the end, that was kind of like, I think it was like everyone joined at that point.
I'm a part of the New World Order, Daddy. I'm here to stay.
Exactly. So yeah, so it'll be interesting what's next for Cody Rhodes. I do want to touch on last week, Winter is Coming special that was on TNT. I can't believe it, guys. Here we are. It's a couple more weeks left of AEW on TNT before they make the switch to TBS on Wednesday, January 5th. The AEW World Championship match kicked off the show, actually. So Hangman, Adam Page defending against Bryan Danielson for the title. Brian, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on it? It went a full 60 minutes. So I finally had a chance to watch it all the way through. I knew the result, but I watched it all the way through tonight. Full 60-minute, went to a time limit draw. So Hangman retains the title, but man, instant classic right there. But yeah, what'd you think about that championship match?
Yeah, the match was good. I enjoyed it. But I just didn't like the finish. I didn't like the draw. And it was kind of like after a while, it's like, okay, this match is kind of get boring. It's like commercial. Yeah. And I know that you can't run an hour with no commercials. I mean, I'm sure that's nearly impossible, but
sidebar, Raw's done 2-hour commercial free episodes. So why couldn't Tony Khan do an hour free with just a straight match?
I mean, he's still new in the game, still figuring it out.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I think if they could have done everything that they did in that match, and have Hangman win or even Bryan, and the match would have still been just as great. I just didn't like that. This is Bryan's second draw. It's kind of like, you couldn't beat both champions. You couldn't get it done. It's just weird to me. I mean, I get it. Everyone's excited over the draw. It's building up the anticipation for a part 2. But yeah, I don't know.
No, man, you don't go back to it that fast.
Yeah, so jumping ahead a little bit, on Dynamite this week, they had a little face-off promo, and yeah, it was announced they're going to have a rematch already on the first episode of Dynamite on TNT on Wednesday, January 5th. And I was kind of shocked. I'm like, wow, that is really quick. Like, what, 2 weeks, or I guess technically 3 weeks later in between? I'm like, damn, that's fast.
Look, put the title on Bryan.
Put it on Hogan and Goldberg all over again.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, I'm thinking isn't like 3 days later, it's the Battle of the Belts special on TV as well?
So what
are they going to do?
That's the question.
They're going to have judges. Pollo Del Mar thinks this is a terrible idea, which I can see where she's coming from. Look, I said this on the Bulletcast. It reminds me of the Impact Grand Championship. When they had judges in case like the guys couldn't win within the certain time limit. So look, we need to have a decisive winner. The judges shouldn't be involved in the decision. Like I said on the Bulletcast, have the judges there, like just in case. But do you remember how Daniel Bryan beat AJ Styles for the WWE title? He kicked him in the nuts, and then he hit him with that running knee, and boom! Like when 30 seconds is left in the match, kick him in the yam bam, hit that running knee, boom! Bryan Danielson, the new world champion, and then Hangman Page can get a quote unquote rematch or whatever the hell or whatever at the Battle of the Belts, and Daniel Bryan beats him clean there, and then we move on.
Yeah, I'm looking up here. So yeah, Battle of the Belts will be on Saturday, January 8th on TNT. So this is the first of the 4 planned episodes of the Saturday Fight Night series that will air quarterly in 2022. So yeah, it's just, I'm really kind of shocked with the timing of all this. Like, what's going to go on? I mean, no matches. Let's see, the only match we know is Britt Baker versus Riho for the women's championship. So other than that, everything else is still up in the air. Yeah, I'm kind of curious where they're going to go with all this. So I'm with you guys. Like, I love the match. It was amazing. It's the tough part is I was watching this and I knew it was going to be a full hour. So yeah. Unfortunately, that part was spoiled for me as far as 20 minutes into it, they had like a false finish. And I was like, yeah, I know the match is still going to go on for another 40 minutes here. So my expectations were just watch it for what it was. I mean, I like the beginning, how they're kind of feeling each other out, trying to tell this story. Bryan Danielson was, kind of really attacking him. And then, Hangman made a big comeback. Then halfway through, Hangman ran into the pole, got busted open, was bleeding everywhere. Eventually, Bryan Danielson went for a kick and kicked into the same pole, and so that hurt his legs. So that played to a factor towards the end. So I really much enjoyed the storytelling. It was an amazing match, but I'm with you. I feel like the draw does kind of cheapen it a little bit. Like, I could see how a lot of people could consider this match of the year, but the fact there was no clear winner, it kind of brings it down a peg. I don't know, Phil, anything else from this championship match that stood out for you?
I mean, who went through? Somebody go through a table?
Hangman, he jumped off the top of the corner.
What I did like how Bryan targeted his limb, his arm, and then so he had to like use different lariat variations with his other arm. I thought that was interesting.
And even going up to this match, I love how for the last 4 weeks, every week Bryan Danielson beat a different member of the Dark Order, from Uno, Colt Cabana, Alan Angels, and then John Silver the week before. And so I like that Bryan Danielson been on this tear up until this point. It was great. And so just the match, he was so intense, like just trying to kick the crap out of Hangman. And then, at the very end, there was kind of like desperate, like, okay, we have like less than a minute. Hangman does hit the buckshot lariat, but the bell rings before he can get the pin down. So, yeah, I mean, the match was amazing, but yeah, I'm with you guys. Like the draw, it's like, it's Bryan's second draw in 3 months. So you're like, he has these great matches, but they're afraid to either, for him to get lost on his undefeated record or the other guy losing. So it does cheapen it a little bit. So we'll see what happens coming up on Dynamite in a couple weeks and Battle of Belts.
Or maybe he's just not good enough to beat the guys. That's why Roman smashed him, stacked him, and sent him to the other channel.
Well, speaking of someone else who had a debut on the other channel was Hook, Taz's son. I do want to acknowledge that real quick. So on Rampage a couple weeks ago, Hook finally had his big debut match. And like the entire wrestling world went crazy for it. Brian, what'd you think of his debut match?
He surprised me. I thought it was great. I was like, wow, he's actually doing pretty good. Like, I thought he was just a, young, scrawny kid who just
looks like Peter Parker.
Yeah. Like they just had him. And I mean, obviously, he didn't get the all elite graphic until the night of his debut. So, I mean, apparently he was just Taz's son,
hanging
but
out.
he has an identity now. He's Hook, and he had a really, really good debut. It wasn't like the greatest match of all time, like people online were trying to make it seem like. But it was definitely better than some. I would say that he surprised me more than Dominic did. And I guess Dominic, I had a high expectations because, he is Rey Mysterio's son, so.
Yeah.
But no, Hook did really, really good.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
He comes out with that rap song.
Action Bronson.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like, whoa, he's got like a big artist theme song for himself.
Action Bronson, he's a huge wrestling fan.
And then, but even Hook, the way he came out, he was walking with confidence, hair all over the place. Yeah. And then even like they're introducing them and he has his back turned. He's staring in the corner like Fuego del Sol's behind him. He's not giving him any respect and looking at him. And then the match starts and I give Fuego del Sol credit as a veteran. He sold his ass off to make Hook look good. I mean, that's the thing. It's a dance partner in the ring. So Fuego del Sol, I give him so much credit for making Hook look like $1 million. But Hook, dude, with his martial arts background, was throwing him like nice and crisp, picking him up, throwing him. I was like, wow. So that's why I do give him credit. It's like, he is very athletic and, bringing his martial arts background into the ring and look great. And like, hey, I'm with you. It's not like the best match ever, but it was still like he looked good in the ring for the short match that it was. He delivered. Yeah.
He didn't look like a rookie.
Exactly. Phillip, how about you? Anything else from Hook's match that stood out for you?
Hey, man. Hook the rookie and the vet.
Anyway, he had like the #1 merch on Pro Wrestling Tees for like the next week, right?
He did.
He beat CM Punk.
Man, he did. He really the rookie and the vet. That's another one for you, Tronic. Yeah, get some. Tronic and I have been having like a little rhyme off. You know what I'm saying?
I wrote that one.
You wrote the introduction for you on the show because I have nothing nice to say about you. Yeah.
Oh
anyway,
God.
Look, Hook. Send Hook. Send Hook. Look, the fact that Taz named his son Hook that's a topic for another time.
And I love for like the little promo poster they made for that match. They used Hook, the movie poster from Hook. Dustin Hoffman, the Peter Pan movie.
Yeah.
But they put Hook's face on it and stuff like that. I thought that was cool.
I remember seeing that in theaters. Yeah.
Oh,
dude, what year was
it?
That?
Like 93, 92?
I was gonna say. Yeah, it's 91.
Oh, my bad. Well, I remember that.
Wow. You remember on VHS.
No, I went to the theater and they popped it into VHS. So, yeah, I remember.
December 11, 1991. God, it's 30 years ago now.
It's crazy. No,
I saw it at the movies.
I think Hook had a great debut, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And can't wait to see what he does. But Charlie Tronic's debut is going to be better.
Yeah.
Because I betrayed him.
That's right.
All right, let's move on over to Dynamite this week. We're not going to go through the whole thing. I know we've been running a little bit long here. But obviously, the big takeaway was the first segment of Dynamite this week. So Adam Cole taking on Orange Cassidy. We've been seeing the Elite or Super Elite Super Kliq. Oh, my God. I'm getting mixed up with all the names. Brian, which one? Wait. Okay, if it's Adam and the Young Bucks, that's Super Kliq.
They have more names than I do. They have more names than I do.
That is saying a lot. So they've been battling with best friends the last couple weeks on TV. From what I like I said, I'm behind on Rampage, but Dynamite, from what I've seen, we're going back and forth. Going into this match, they had the promo last week on Dynamite where it was Adam Cole and the Young Bucks backstage with Bobby Fish. And was it Adam Cole or Matt Jackson, or Nick Jackson? One of them says the Super Kliq, and they're like, and Bobby Fish. So like they really stressed the point. It was one of the Young Bucks, I believe, but they were trying to stress the point that Bobby Fish, he's here in the room, but he's not like a part of the group.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that little detail makes sense based on what we saw happen on Dynamite this week. So yeah, we saw Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole go at it. I don't know about you guys. I'm just fatigued of Orange Cassidy's shtick in the ring. I'm just tired of it. I'm not. It's just it's ran its course. I feel like Adam Cole, he's the former NXT champion. He's an amazing, talented wrestler, and I feel like some of these guys who are just amazing in the ring, Orange Cassidy kind of brings them down a little bit with his style. I don't know. Is that safe to say?
I agree. It's kind of like, I mean, the music and the entrance and the crowd cheering him on, like that's really cool. It's really cool. But after a while, it's just like, getting tired of the gimmick. Yeah, you gotta give me something else now, or let's elevate it. Let's make it evolve.
Yeah.
Or just get it a little serious. You're in there with Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah. I mean, the match itself was fine. It did its thing, but the big thing was Phil, if you're putting the hands in oh yeah, Adam Cole did that in his own trunks. He put the hands in his trunks, right, when he was trying to do the pin.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah. So let's see. So we saw Cole hit the Panama Sunrise on Orange Cassidy, who kicked out. Then Adam Cole went in with the knee on Orange Cassidy, but Orange moved, and then Orange hit Cole with the beach break. And then Orange Cassidy was trying to do the orange punch, but Cole rolled out of the ring. And then we saw Bobby Fish come running down to the ring, get in the face of the ref. And I like this. They had a tight shot on Orange Cassidy just standing there in the ring, waiting for like the ref and Bobby Fish to be done talking. And I'm like, oh my God, something's happening, because you see the crowd start reacting behind him. Sure enough, they pan out a little bit and you see Kyle O'Reilly in the ring, takes out Orange Cassidy. Adam Cole gets the victory there. Oh my God. Kyle O'Reilly is officially All Elite in the ring with Adam Cole, Bobby Fish. So he tagged Orange Cassidy, and then so Adam Cole, finished off Orange Cassidy with the boom kick and pinned him. Best friends come out, try to help Orange Cassidy, but Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, and Kyle O'Reilly, triple teamed up on best friends, knock them all out. You see.
Things.
Yes, I was so excited. Literally, I was watching this live, and I was like, "Yes! Oh my God, yes!" I was so happy.
Couple things. Tronic almost spoiled this for you, boy. Two, the boom is such a stupid name for the knee. I don't know if you can call it the last shot, but call it the last shot, or come up with a different name, because that's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This is an AEW signing I will agree with.
Okay.
Because look, man, I said it on the Bulletcast earlier. This is the most important Kyle O'Reilly has felt since his match with Adam Cole at that last takeover for Adam Cole. Because all the stuff he did leading up until then, it was just meh. It was mid, as MJF would say. He cut the faux hawk off, and then now he looks like the Kyle O'Reilly that was a killer. And I can see Red Dragon winning those tag team titles. I could see Adam Cole, baby, being the TNT champion. I could see them having a nice little run together. But you know what this is leading up to? The 6-man. Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish against the Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Absolutely. So, yes, the original incarnation of Undisputed Era, the original 3 members, are now officially in AEW altogether.
Throw it up, Huey. Throw it up.
Hey,
no, that song you sent us, that was dope. That was
I got to
lit.
share that on In The Kliq social. It's a mashup of Adam Cole's current theme song with the old Undisputed Era theme song. But no, Phillip, you brought up a good point. Kyle shaved his head. It was shorter, like how he was when Undisputed Era first started. But yeah, it kind of fits his new t-shirt. That's at ProWrestlingTees.com. It's the Violent Artist. So he's going back to more of that pissed off, violent look, and not so much the cool Kyle that he was doing the last few months here. Brian, man, your thoughts on Kyle O'Reilly making his debut, and he's officially in AEW now.
Yeah, I agree with Phillip. I'm gonna agree with the signing. I'm very happy for him. It's a good signing. It makes sense. And it kind of like I put my feelings and my bias to the side, and I was just like, okay, this is really cool. I too was really, really excited. Like, I was shocked. I wasn't shocked because I'd seen it coming. Like I'd speculation. He said he had a surprise for the Young Bucks.
A Christmas gift last week at Dynamite. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and just the fact that we haven't heard much from Kyle O'Reilly since War Games.
And
I was like,
Von Wagner. That Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. He lost to Von Wagner, so I knew that he was on his way to go join Fish and Cole. It's cool. He looks like he's comfortable. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that he looked very comfortable in his role in the NXT, and then going on to NXT 2.0, he just didn't fit there.
Yeah.
But he fits right in with Cole and Fish. It's a little weird from a fan, as a fan, right? Looking at Kyle O'Reilly and how it's just like, dude, you hated this guy a few months ago. Like, why are you even joining up back?
Time heals all wounds, Tronic.
Well, that's the thing. So think about it. So they did, after the match, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole did stare each other, and it looked a little awkward, like, hey, it's you. Like, so I do give them credit. They're kind of looking at trying to keep up somewhat of continuity of, like, a few months ago, we had a really bad blood feud on NXT. So they're trying to somewhat keep it going, it looks like.
Yeah.
So,
you know why they were able to forgive each other? Why they were able to still be friends?
Why?
because Kyle O'Reilly bought his friend tickets to an independent wrestling show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm not letting it go, Tronic.
I did too.
By the way, do you think Triple H is watching and be like, oh
it's
my God.
It's that crying meme of him.
All my guys.
He's crying.
All my guys are in AEW. This is something I've said before. It's like, that's what's kind of like, I'm thinking about AEW right now in the last like 6 months is the best part of NXT from like, would you say NXT's peak years were what, 2018, 2019? Like the most popular?
Yeah.
I'm not hypothetically, I'm just.
No, yeah.
You think about it, like end of 2017, 2018, 2019.
Oh, yeah, they were on fire.
All those best guys from that roster are now in AEW.
Yeah.
You think about Undisputed Era, the original 3, Aleister Black, Andrade, who else am I missing? I'm trying to think,
some of them just aren't with the company.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they're getting some of the best from NXT's peak year. So it's like, 2 years ago, it was AEW versus NXT. Now they're almost kind of fused into one, the best of the best. Or the best from NXT. It's like, I don't know, you couldn't beat them, so you might as well join them, maybe type of thing. So now they're all together in the same roster. So maybe at future AEW pay-per-views, maybe we'll get some of that takeover vibe. Potentially, I don't know.
Possibly, man. Like Triple H is going to walk in the Performance Center hella pissed, like that episode of Tough Enough, and he's going to be like, "Take a bump."
Wait, so it's got to feel like Triple H has to be hurt. Yeah, he has to be hurting right now, seeing all three of those guys on TNT standing there in an AEW ring.
That's the thing, y'all. So all three of them, Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, all standing there, very similar to when they were all together debuting in NXT at TakeOver 4 years ago after taking out Drew McIntyre. Very similar photo that was, making the rounds on Twitter the last 24 hours and stuff. So, but it looked like they really wanted to throw up the Undisputed Era hand gesture, but they can't. But you can tell they wanted to do that right there in the moment last night.
Man, Ring of Honor, NXT, and AEW, all three of these men have gone with each other. But Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, New Japan, Dragon Gate, Ring of Honor, NXT, AEW. I think those two specifically are destined to do this together.
Yeah, and that's cool. It's like, okay, Kyle O'Reilly's there, so you got Red Dragons, so you got another great tag team for that division. So the Young Bucks come out to the ring, and they're just kind of awkwardly like looking at him like, hey, like who are these guys? Like, Adam, you're our friend, but you're standing with these guys. And, we all know, we're all smart. We all know, connect the dots. Like, hey, these are all your buddies from NXT. So they're not flat out saying it, but their body language is saying that. So I think, we're eventually going to get the Elite versus Undisputed Era at some point. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to play out until Kenny Omega comes back at some point.
What's their name going to be?
I don't know.
The Undisputed Elite?
You want to know what this felt like? This also This also felt like you ever see an NBA team? They have like a really good player, but he just can't stay healthy, and then they end up trading him to another team, and then he gets healthy and he starts doing good for that other team. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel Bobby Fish. I feel like he's good to go now. He's healthy, which I'm very, very glad he is. But hey, change of scenery will do things to certain people. So
it's like, who was it? Grant Hill. Remember Grant Hill back in the day, trying to, like, when he was injured. He was good in Detroit, then he went to Orlando, but was injury prone. Then finished his career in Phoenix on a good note.
Yep,
that's what I'm thinking. Like Grant Hill. Phillip, do you know Grant Hill?
Oh, of course.
I hope so. I love Grant Hill growing up. So Duke star.
Yeah, man. I love Bobby Hill growing up. Yeah.
Bobby Hill. Robert Roode?
What? No. I mean, I understand what you mean. I mean, me as an athlete.
Well, let me ask you this. So I like that they've been laying down the tension as far as like what I said on Dynamite the week before, where the Young Bucks were like, yeah, here's us, the Super Kliq and Bobby Fish. So they're already planting the seeds that they don't see Bobby Fish as one of their own. They're just cool with him because they know he's friends with Adam Cole. So they're being cool just because he's their friend. So now it's like how they're going to lay more tension in the meantime. And at some point, you know, Kenny comes back and we're going to get the Elite versus the Undisputed Era. But Phil, you brought up a good point. Maybe this can lead to them finally introducing trios titles that can keep them busy for a while. But I definitely see Adam Cole eventually being world champion at some point in 2022.
Yep.
And that's the feud with Kenny Omega, like who's the real like number one leader of the group. That could be the tension.
There was another trio in the Elite that we didn't get that I hate. It's supposed to be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus O'Reilly, Fish, and Cole versus Brandon Cutler and the Good Brothers.
Oh my God. No.
I mean,
actually, let me ask you guys this. So, you know, Bobby Fish joined AEW within the last less than 2 months now? How long has he been there? A couple months now, roughly.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly, while I'm super happy he's in AEW, I'm sure he couldn't wait to get on TV and, you know, maybe stick it to WWE, wherever his mindset is. I'm just guessing. Do you think it was kind of a little bit of a throwaway moment just on an episode of Dynamite at the end of December? Do you think it would have been more impactful on one of these TNT specials or maybe a pay-per-view? Brian, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Do you think they maybe should have kept Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly off TV and have them debut together, like at a pay-per-view and attack someone and then stand side by side with Adam Cole? Then, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of wonder, there was so much, I almost wonder if, I'm worried that this was too rushed. Like, they should have kept Bobby Fish off TV, Kyle O'Reilly, if they knew he was coming, just keep him off TV and then debut on a, like I said, a big pay-per-view or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree with that. It would have been bigger.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, it was still amazing. I'm happy for him, and it just shows like his contract expired like a week before he can go anywhere the next week. So he took advantage of that opportunity, and I'm sure for them they're like, this story's too hot to hold off on. So maybe they're just a little impatient there. It's like let's just get the ball rolling on this. Kenny Omega's gone. This is great storyline to fill up time until Kenny Omega comes back. Maybe that's the mentality there. Anyway, no, I'm super happy for Kyle O'Reilly. I'm just super happy for them. I mean, I'm glad my Undisputed Era shirts are not completely out of style now. So you can still wear them, but I think I might still protect mine for a while and let this play out. I'll get the new team name they're going to have for themselves. So
right.
I'm just happy for them. Just real quick, we just saw, as we kind of mentioned earlier, we saw Hangman get interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Bryan Danielson comes out and they, talk it out, and that it's going to go, they're going to have a rematch January 5th, another 60-minute time limit, this time with judges. Do you guys have any predictions who might be the judges?
Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn, and
I think Bret Hart. Bret Hart's been in an Iron Man match. Right, Phillip?
But he lost.
Remember?
Still, he was in it.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. He lost.
He was in it. He's wrestled for 1 hour, over an hour in overtime.
But he lost.
Yeah. Still, he's an expert at it. Brian, is there anyone else you think of that could be maybe a potential judge?
Flair. I mean, he's had 60-minute draws up the wazoo.
Ooh.
You know who I would put that no one's thinking about putting?
Oh, the Great Muta.
No, it probably wouldn't be possible, but I'd put Kenny Omega. I'd have him come be a judge.
Really? Okay, that'd be interesting.
You be the judge, Kenny. Who do you think should be the champ?
Yeah.
They're just gonna call Joe Sika.
Okay.
Did you see that? Huey, did you see that?
That was good. Joe Sika is all elite.
Could you imagine?
Dude, that would be earth shattering.
Man, I I wouldn't have a reason to watch SmackDown. Vince would die.
He would be so upset if that ever happened.
Man.
They also did a really cool video package about the Owen Hart Cup tournament. That was cool. They used some like personal video of Owen Hart and some of his New Japan matches.
Where was the I'm a Nugget footage? I'm not a Nugget. Where was that footage?
No.
Huh? Where's the...
Oh, Martha kept that in the archives.
Kick your leg out of your leg.
Where's I'm not a Nugget? I have a black heart. Where's that at?
That's unfortunately,
he had 2 awards also with him. Where's the footage of that?
The Slammies, yeah.
Those. I believe he was the champion of the continents. Where's the footage of that?
He broke Stone Cold's neck. Where's that footage?
Yeah, where's that?
Where's that? Exactly. See, if I can be serious for a moment, shout out Lance Storm. This is why you can't do things like this, because you don't have the big moments. That's like Tom Brady going to play for the Canadian Football League, and you can't use any footage of any Super Bowl win. That's basically it. That's basically it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dan Lambert back once again in the Skybox with Man of the Year. I don't know about you guys. I'm just tired of Dan Lambert.
Tired of it.
Okay.
I'm happy 100%. At least Scorpio gets on TV with him. Like I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say.
Scorpio
I forgot Scorpio and Ethan Page were even there.
Dude, they both should just break off and do singles runs. Ethan Page should be in that TNT. Both of them should be in the TNT title picture more. I know Ethan Page had one match already with Sammy Guevara, but like that should be more of a regular thing.
Was Paige Van Zandt there?
Paige Van? No. I didn't see. No, she wasn't.
Then I don't care about this.
So we saw, was it Ruby Soho get a win over Nyla Rose? So she advances to the finals, right, of the TBS Women's Tournament. Malachi Black defeated Griff Garrison. So Malachi Black a couple weeks ago sprayed the Black Miss into what's her name? Oh my God, Julia Hart's face. Yep. Last week on Dynamite, we see Malachi Black's promo, and it looks like he's, I don't know what you call it, recruiting someone.
The House of Black.
Yeah, so it looks like he's bringing people into the House of Black. And then it was reported Brody King signed with AEW from Ring of Honor. So Brody King was at the last West Coast Pro Wrestling show, guys.
I was there. Brody King.
Just saying. He was really nice to talk to. I'm just saying. So, but Malachi Black said, you're more than a king. So I think a lot of people assume, that's Brody King coming. And they are tag team champions in PWG. So it looks like Malachi Black is building up a faction, the House of Black. That's what I'm guessing this is leading towards.
Can I join because I'm black?
I'm sure everyone is welcome.
Can I come?
You're going to wear some face paint?
Yeah, and I once put Aleister Black on the Black Power ranking just because the last name was Black.
Oh my God,
that's what I'm talking about.
What do you think about that theory that's going around? Like Malachi Black, everyone he sprays with the Black Mist eventually turns evil or heelish. I'm wondering if that's something to keep your eye on. If that's something they're going to go down that path with that story.
Basically like anybody that had an interaction with the Fiend, they turned heel.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious. And then main event time, it was CM Punk, Darby Allin, Sting taking on the pinnacle of FTR and MJF. Fun match here. I mean, with Sting coming out with the face paint with like it's CM Punk's current logo on his face with the CM Punk shirt.
And then Punk with the surfer face paint.
Sting's early days, and then Darby Allin with the half face paint. But it's Sting's like the surfer Darby Allin. He had the pink, but it was like reminiscent of his Sting's more like 90s run. So
Speaking of Darby Allin, can we talk about him and Cora Jade?
Oh yeah,
boy, got him. She got him.
So Darby Allin tweeted out like, "Hey, I'm a real life skateboarder. Skateboarding's my life. I don't use it as a prop.
It's not part of my gimmick." And then she clapped back with, "Hey, I
don't beat people.
I don't beat people up as a part of my real life." And I was like, "Ooh,
yeah,
bro, she cooked him real quick." That boy deleted that tweet real fast,
man. Yeah,
but anyway, the main event was cool.
Yeah, so it was fun. Brian, what you think of the main event here?
It was good, man. And again, got to give it to him, man. Sting's fun in AEW.
I mean, and I give credit to the other guys. They all, work very safe with him in the ring. They don't do anything too, over the top. They sell for him. They let him get his spots in. CM Punk,
Punk
was
had
awesome
the entire
well.
get up. Punk had the entire get up. He had the tights. He had the paint. He had the kick pad,
the scorpion
the
paint
boots
on his legs.
Apparently, Charlie Tronic is not a fan of the long tights.
He's not a fan at all. So,
Phillip, what was your analogy? Like the 3 different outfits CM Punk wears to the ring. It's like different scenarios. Pants for like veterans or. Yeah,
the long boys when he's having a good time or a veteran match. The trunks when he's having a serious contest, and the fight shorts when he's in a fight.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's something to keep eye on.
From now on, we're calling the long tights long boys.
Long boys, yeah.
Long boys.
No, the match was a lot of fun. I mean, I love MJF. He keeps dodging CM Punk. So every time CM Punk's in the ring, MJF would tag out. At one point, he ran through the crowd up above. CM Punk was chasing and went down around. And then as soon as he got in the ring, he tagged someone else in. So MJF is doing a great heel work as far as avoiding CM Punk and like holding off until they actually throw blows at one another. So whenever they finally do lay hands on each other, the crowd's going to pop so hard. So I like that little detail right there. But yeah, at the end, Sting got his spots in there. And it went pretty long. It was like a good, 20 minutes, I think, the whole match total.
Yeah.
Was there anything else, Brian, that stood out for you on this one?
Not really.
Let's see. Punk was about to hit the GTS on MJF when Dax shoved him out of the way. That's right. He took the bullet for MJF. That's right.
I didn't know what was going on at first. I was like, wait, what are you doing?
Oh, MJF almost fell on his head too.
When he got thrown, when he got launched.
Sting launched him to the outside.
It reminded me of when Lita did that dive and she bent her neck.
Yeah, that was scary. And then at one point, Darby Allin was like a bullet jumping out of the ring. Like, he has the best suicide dive. Like, it's like a bullet popping out of the ring.
Are you kidding me? Brie Bella puts the suicide in suicide dive.
That's right. So Punk did hit the GTS on Dax, and then Darby. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's that's what. No, yeah, Punk hit the GTS, and then Sting did the Scorpion Death Drop, and then Darby Allin crashed down on the Dax with the coffin drop, and Punk got the pin for the win. So babyfaces win here. Fun way to end Dynamite this week. So what's next for them? I mean, they're really stretching this, Punk MJF feud. I don't know. Do we have a chance to talk about it? But their promo last month, the 20-minute promo back and forth, that was legendary. And then they had another, a couple weeks ago when they were in Rhode Island, MJF's music hit and CM Punk comes out to the ring instead. The crowd was booing him. So the babyface is getting booed, and this is the one time MJF was getting cheered in his hometown of Rhode Island.
It felt like CM Punk just went out there and didn't have a direction of what he was going to say.
Yeah. So
it did not hit.
It's not bad. Just I love, like I said, the promo they had a couple weeks ago, the 20-minute promo, the back and forth, legendary stuff. So, man, a lot of fun stuff here. Dynamite this week was so much fun. It was, I like what they got going here, and I'm excited for, the Christmas special this Saturday, see if Cody Rhodes can win the TNT championship or not. And then, coming up New Year's Dash, that's coming up with all the matches there, the rematch for the championship. And Battle of Belts is also going to be here soon before we know it. So I love it. We're ending the year strong, and 2022 is going to start off with a bang. So looking forward to it. So
that's
all right,
right.
let's start wrapping things up. Brian, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
Kliqsters, you guys can find me at Brian Tronic on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you find and look for social media platforms. I'll be there.
Phillip, how about you?
You guys know where to find me. You know where to find the platforms, but I got to throw it out there. Ugwa, we will no longer be at the Ritz in San Jose. We are coming to Emporium in SF February 20th, 2022.
And I'm
Ugwa Arias. I think that's how you pronounce this one. Look, man, juicy finale, the world's freshest tag team, Sandra Moon. Some of your favorites are going to be there. You don't want to miss it.
Moon.
Yep, your boy's on the call. We are going to be doing some great stuff. And, that's it for the industry leader.
Oh, my God. And I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, at In The Kliq on social, especially subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts at. Also on YouTube, going to be updating with all the latest episodes there. And follow us on social media, inthekliq@gmail.com. Merry Christmas, Kliqsters. Happy holidays. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for being patient for the lack of episodes the last few weeks. Like I said, it's been very busy for me. Thank you guys for helping me out. Merry Christmas to you both and your family and friends as well. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.